Do you want to hear a really glorious, beautiful sound? Are you ready? Here we go. Welcome back. I'm the Car Wizard and this is my shop. You just heard a clip of the engine in this car, and it probably didn't sound very much like your average Audi going down the road. And there's a reason for that. It's because the engine that's in here is a 5.2 FSI V10, which is derived from the Lamborghini Gallardo. It's also used in the Audi R8. We're going to open the hood and let you take a look around and see what the motor actually looks like. Okay, today we're going to address two common problems with this particular car. One of them is I can actually smell oil right now. That's one of the problems we're going to be addressing. And that's the Cam Actuator Solenoids. They have O-ring.
Oh, go on. Go on. Go on. I'm sorry.
Which channel are we on anyway?
Yeah, I need help with the Viper whenever you get a chance. Oh, you're right in the middle of something. He's gone Hollywood now. He's so Hollywood. What are you doing here?
There's 4 solenoids, 2 on each side, and intake exhaust. They have O-rings that leak oil. People commonly think the valve cover gaskets are leaking, and it's not. It ends up being these actuators are leaking oil, and it dribbles onto the exhaust, and it smells like a Exxon Valdez on fire. So that's the first issue we're going to address. The second one is there's play in the steering, kind of a wallowy effect while you're driving. And I've already diagnosed this, but it's a upper control arm bushings are shot. We're going to be replacing, there's actually 4, front and rear on both sides. So we're going to be replacing those today and get that problem addressed.
I might have been the cause of that. Sorry.
Oh, you might have been the cause of that?
Yeah, I had this car before the Wizard. Might have done some jumps. Sweet jumps.
Sweet jumps?
Yeah.
Oh, well that explains it.
I love this thing though.
Oh, yeah. I love it too.
Yeah, it's sweet. Okay, well, I'll leave you to it. I'm going to go hobble back over to my broken Viper.
Okay. I am getting a couple things out of the way here so you guys can see where these things are located. And some of you were kind of experienced with mechanics say, why would you work on a hot engine? You just ran it hard and now you're going to work on it. Well, there's a good reason for that. All these hoses and things are nice and flexible. They don't crack, they don't break. The noises you're hearing is Hoovie over there. He's sacrificing himself to the gods or something over there with his Dodge Viper. So this is a very small screw. You want to use a magnet to reach down there and get it. Not so much of a big of a deal on this one, but the next ones that are up close to the intake, you could lose the screw down in the V of the engine and you'd have to find another one or find a way to get that one out. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, there's all kinds of oil from where it's been leaking and there's crud all in there. We don't want to pull the actuator solenoid out and then all that fall down into the motor. So we're going to put some cleaner, brake cleaner, or kind of dislodge everything in there. Then we get some compressed air and blow out whatever's down in there. And I can feel sand and little bits of dirt or whatnot coming out. That's what you don't want going down into the engine. So basically what you want to do is get a screwdriver on the side of the metal part of the body. Don't pry it where you're going to break it, but pry it back and forth to kind of work it loose. And grab it by the connector and pull straight up. That's a cam solenoid. It adjusts oil flow to the cam actuators to adjust the cam timing. You can see the little O-ring right here. That's the culprit. It's leaking oil all over down the valve cover and onto the exhaust. There's 4 of these on this engine. You're going to take a small, this is an old dental pick that I have. Be careful not to scratch the surface underneath. But gently pull the O-ring. See, this one's so hard and brittle, it just broke. Okay, so I have the new O-ring on there. You want to gently glide it over these ridges until you get to the groove, the correct groove. A little wizard tip here is you don't need an Audi sourced part. This is an air conditioning O-ring. It's HNBR rubber. It's going to hold up a lot better than a standard black rubber O-ring. We're going to put a light coating of grease around this O-ring and push it back into the hole.
He's like the Bob Ross of mechanics. And don't you think? Very soothing. Happy little O-ring here goes into the happy little place here.
Place when you lightly push on it, just like that. I felt it. If you use the screw to draw it in and it's not seating properly, you'll just tear the O-ring and you get to do it all over again. When that one's seated properly, we're going to put the screw in and okay, so that one's back in there. Whenever we put connectors back together, we put some spray silicone. You can get this in any auto parts store. Some more spray silicone on these connectors. And that's that. You can put your intake pipe back on. The other side's the identical process. You have some hoses and stuff in the way, you just kind of push them out of the way. You don't need to really unhook a whole lot. But it's the same process with the O-ring and clean it out, just like I showed you, and that'll take care of the oil issue on this car. It's very common on these Audis, especially the 4.2 V8s, the 5.2 V10s. They use the O-rings leaking oil onto the exhaust. So that take care of that problem.
How can they diagnose that?
You'll notice a smell like you come to a stoplight with your AC on, you start smelling burned oil. Or you shut your car off, you go inside, you can actually see steam coming out of this seam right here, or you can smell it. That's when you know it's time to start looking around. Very likely those are starting to leak. So that concludes that repair, and now we're going to move on to the upper control arms to fix our loose steering. Okay, so the next issue we're going to address is this car. Actually, this is my car. A lot of people say, what does the Wizard drive? Well, here I have a Lamborghini powered S6. That's what I drive. I've been noticing there's play in the steering, like you're going down the road, and it'll change direction just a little bit, and I haven't moved the steering wheel. I've already diagnosed it, but this is a common issue as well. These bushings on the upper control arms go bad. There's two of them up top, and it allows the wheel to slightly move in or out without any input from the steering wheel. So any deviations in the road or rough spots, it causes the wheel to go one way or another, and there's your play in the steering wheel. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is take our center cap, little, looks like a starfish. Take that off, and we're going to take the wheel off. Look at those huge S6 brakes, isn't that nice? Has very good stopping power. There's a bolt right here, one single bolt that runs through the top of this spindle. It actually holds in both control arms. So we have the bolt out. There's a slot right here and a slot right here. That one bolt closes both of those and clamps both of those together, which holds these upper control arms in. So I got my tuning forks. Yep, everything seems in tune here. There's one. You can see the groove where the bolt runs alongside here and holds that in. And there's two. As you can see, the rubber wasn't even holding this together anymore. I shouldn't be able to just move it around that easy. The rubber is completely disintegrated on here. Now, the next thing we're going to do is there's two bolts, one for each control arm, that are up in this mount in here. We're going to take those out and wiggle and pull the control arms out. Okay, the next step we're going to do is we're going to lower the car partially, take loose the three bolts to just lower the strut mount just down enough to where we can slide these bolts out. Otherwise, you won't be able to get the bolts out. In order to get to these 3 bolts that hold in the strut mount, we're going to pull this cowl off. I've already partially done it already, but you'll pull this little rubber strip off, weather strip, and you'll pull forward towards the front of the car, and it'll pull this cover out of the way. And then there's this bolt is clearly visible. You can get to it pretty easy. But there's 2 others. There's these little plugs that you take out. There's 2 of them. There's one here, and there's one down here. We'll take these 3 bolts out. That will give us a little wiggle room to get the bolts out of the control arms. That's all 3 bolts there. Now we can raise the car back up and just move that out of the way without removing the whole strut.
So what's that car over there, Car Wizard?
Which one?
That red one. That one right behind you. Whose is that?
Oh, that's that Grand Prix of Tyler's. He just did a video on, and now I get to fix it.
Lucky you.
I don't know if I'm so lucky on that thing. But, oh well, it all pays the same. Okay, now we got those bolts removed off the top. You can see we can move this mount around now. Kind of push down on the whole lower control arm. Then we get something to pry this with. Now we can get that bolt out. I can almost push this center piece all the way through. See the tear? Therein lies where our wandering steering was. You have to fight with this thing a little bit, this little stud up here, but you just turn it and pull down enough, just enough to get the bolt out. And there we have it. Completely destroyed. Thanks, Hoovie. Okay, here we have the 2 brand new ones. Nice and concentric, and this will take care of our steering slop. So anyways, in they go. Now we're going to lower this back down, and we're going to put the top bolts back in, and then finish reassembling, and we'll be done with that part. Okay, we're going to tighten this first one here that was easy to get it to line up. We're not going to tighten it all the way. We're just going to get it snug so we can line up the others. Okay, now we put our little plugs back. Spray some more silicone. I use a lot of this silicone spray. Now, if you're going to be doing the other side, which we will be as well, but we'll do that off camera, you want to leave this off. Okay, now we're going to tighten these up. We're not going to tighten them all the way down. You want to get it all hooked together, and then you can either put the tire on and put the weight of the vehicle and reach in here and tighten them up. I use a transmission jack and push from the bottom up. You want to tighten these in the proper position where the weight of the car is on it. If you tighten them down here, the rubber only has so much up and down movement, and you'll rip the rubber. Leave it just a little loose so you can do that. Clean out these holes. Now I'll go get my transmission jack and we'll raise this up and do the final tightening up there, and Okay, you want to get this either on the ground with the wheel on or with a jack tie rod. Not up this way or down this way, but straight. That's generally where it's going to set when you lower the car. Now we can tighten up the control arm bolts. And let it down slowly. Always double check your bolts. Make sure you got everything in, everything tight. You don't want to go down the road and you forgot a bolt. Everything looks good there. Put our wheel back on. We're just putting these snug. We're not torquing them right now. You don't want to go full bore with an impact wrench on there. You'll over tighten it, break a lug nut or warp your rotors, and put your little starfish back on. And that's it. So this car needed both sides done for this, both the oil leak and the control arms. I just showed you the driver's side on both. It's pretty much identical for the passenger side. So that concludes the 2 issues I had with this car. I showed you what to do to fix them. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the little bell, and look forward to seeing you next time.